Bisexual studs cheating on women with men. There is a lot of debate and a lot of opposition between lesbian studs and bisexual studs because the verbiage stud is originally referred to masculine presenting lesbians. However, there has been a lot of commentary regarding bisexual studs and whether or not they should refer to themselves as bisexual studs. The lesbian community, and especially lesbians who are masculine presenting women, have an issue with bisexual women who are masculine presenting labeling themselves as bisexual studs because they believe that the word, the title, the label of stud belongs to masculine presenting lesbians. They believe that it is an oxymoron for a bisexual masculine woman to refer to herself as a stud because she is not a lesbian. I will tell you what I believe. I believe there is power in a name, power in a title. And I actually am in agreement with the lesbian community, whether you're a lesbian femme or a lesbian stud. I agree that the title stud originates with masculine presenting lesbians, and lesbians are female homosexuals. They are not bisexual women. The women who are referring to themselves as bisexual studs, they want to call themselves bisexual studs because they're masculine presenting and they like women. However, stud is specifically referring to female homosexuals, which mean you are a woman who is masculine presenting and you are a lesbian. You are not attracted to men sexually or emotionally. Bisexual women are attracted to men sexually and or emotionally, and they can be masculine presenting. So I believe that a bisexual woman can be masculine presenting, but I do not think that she should refer to herself as a bisexual stud because the original verbiage of stud in the lesbian community is referring to a masculine presenting female homosexual who is a lesbian. I don't think that the labels, the titles that we give ourselves should be taken lightly, or they should be misconstrued or disrespected, especially when it comes to women who love women or same-sex attracted women. We already have people who are against women who are same-sex attracted. We face a lot of discrimination, a lot of opposition, a lot of homophobia and biphobia by people who are homophobic. And homophobia is not just limited to heterosexual people. You can be homophobic or biphobic within the LGBTQIA plus community. We have to be careful how we treat each other, and we have to respect our labels and our titles and how we represent ourselves. There's a reason why we have the acronym of LGBTQIA plus, because each letter in the acronym is a label. It is a title. It specifically defines a person's sexual orientation and or their gender identity or gender expression. When you refer to yourself as a bisexual stud, it is very conflicting. And I can understand why there's a lot of animosity between lesbian studs and bisexual studs. Because lesbian studs, they want to be respected. They do not want to be referred to as women who are sleeping around with men. Lesbians, the lesbian community as a whole, we are constantly harassed by people in the heterosexual community because they want to refer to us as being confused or going through a phase or secretly wanting to be with a man. And that's extremely offensive and disrespectful. It is lesbian erasure. And so when a bisexual woman who is masculine presenting refers to herself as a bisexual stud, it is a form of lesbian erasure, because you cannot change the label or the title of a stud in the lesbian community as being a bisexual. Lesbians are not bisexual. Just think of it in the sense, you cannot refer to a lesbian as being bisexual. She is a lesbian. Just like we cannot refer to a bisexual as being a trans person. We all have our own labels and titles in the LGBTQIA acronym for a reason, and we need to respect our boundaries, our positions, our titles, and our labels, because it is our representation. It is our identity. I want to address something that is really a serious issue that's going on when it comes to relationships between women. And the title of the video, as I've already shown you here, bisexual studs cheating on women with men. This is a real problem. I have seen YouTube content, I've seen social media content and commentary where there are women in relationships with bisexual studs. And I'm saying bisexual studs because this is the label that is being heavily promoted in social media. I don't agree with the bisexual stud label, as I've already explained, but I will just refer to the title of bisexual stud just to make a point in this video. I personally refer to bisexual women who are masculine presenting as bisexual masculine presenting women. I don't refer to them or call them bisexual studs, but they're calling themselves bisexual studs. I am Giselle Wallace, certified gay life coach and author. Here on my YouTube channel, I provide my lesbian perspective. And if that interests you, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Bisexual studs cheating on women with men. One of the reasons why bisexual studs want to label themselves as bisexual studs is because they want to deceive women into thinking that they are lesbians. And I know that sounds very contradictory. It makes absolutely no sense. But let me explain. Bisexual studs are not letting you know that they're bisexual studs. There's a small amount of women who are calling themselves bisexual studs. And these are women who are openly admitting that they're bisexual. And they say that they're bisexual studs. They are openly referring to themselves as bisexual studs because they are not in the closet. They're letting people know that they identify as bisexual. And they refer to themselves as studs because they're masculine presenting women. However, the lesbian studs are against bisexual masculine presenting women, referring themselves as being studs because studs belongs to homosexual females. But what I'm really going to focus on and address in this video message is the bisexual masculine presenting women who do not admit that they're bisexual. Of course, we know generally there are bisexual studs, meaning we know that there's women out there who are bisexual and they refer to themselves as studs. Those are the out women. I'm not talking about them in this topic. I'm addressing the bisexual masculine presenting women who are not out. As a matter of fact, they are disguising themselves as lesbians. And they're hiding behind their masculine presenting demeanor and appearance. Because they appear to be lesbians, because they're masculine presenting, the way they dress, they may wear masculine presenting clothes. They even have masculine mannerisms. Maybe they even talk similar to males. They pretty much have a lot of masculine energy. And they're using their masculine presentation as a way to mask the fact that they're bisexual women. And what they're doing is they are involving themselves in relationships with women. They're making it seem as though they are lesbians when they know that they're really bisexual. They really like both sexes. They like males and females. And many of these bisexual masculine presenting women, who people refer to as bisexual studs, they will lie to women who are lesbian in order to get in a relationship with them or to have sex with them. And they make the lesbian woman believe that they are lesbian studs. The reason why the women are saying that they're bisexual studs is because they really want to give off the impression or the idea that they're lesbians and not bisexual. And this is wrong. This is extremely deceptive, and the behavior is down low. These bisexual studs who are not letting you know verbally that they're bisexual studs, they are bisexual masculine women, and they like men. They like men sexually, and they like men emotionally. They will get in relationships with women, and these women are clueless about the fact that they are with a bisexual stud. If you have not seen videos, or if you have not heard stories about women finding out that their stud girlfriend or their stud wife is cheating on them with a man, well, this is absolutely going on. And this is a major issue. This is why there's so much division and infighting among women who love women, women who identify as lesbian, women who identify as bisexual. If you're feminine presenting or if you're masculine presenting, there's a lot of division. And I understand why. People are not willing to be true to themselves. They're not willing to be honest. They're not comfortable with who they are. Many of these women who are bisexual women and they're masculine presenting, they're actually very uncomfortable with being bisexual. They may even have an issue with being attracted to men, but since they are bisexual, they can't remove or deplete or erase their attraction in men. So they will pretend to be lesbians, or they'll be in denial about being bisexual women, and they will say that they're lesbian. And why are they doing this? Well, in many cases, because they want to be accepted. And I understand the need to want to belong. You want to belong in a community. And bisexual people, many times they feel like they have to choose a side. However, being bisexual does not allow you to choose a side in the sense of you can only choose one gender or one sex that you are attracted to. That's impossible, you are not able to choose your sexual orientation. So if you're bisexual, you can't choose one sex or gender, because that would defeat the purpose of bisexuality. You're bisexual, so you like both sexes and genders. But since they deal with a lot of discrimination and people who are just not educated about sexual orientation, you have heterosexual people who are denying the existence of bisexuality. And then there's some homosexual people who deny the existence of bisexuality. They say you have to be one or the other, but that is not true, because bisexuality is a valid and a real sexual orientation. Being bisexual is not the issue. The issue is the deception, the self-hate, the biphobia, living in fear, living closeted and down low lifestyles. That is the real issue. There's a plethora of reasons why people are not comfortable with their sexual orientation. The focus that I'm going to address here today is bisexual women who are masculine presenting are acting out in ways that are very detrimental, unhealthy, extremely risky, and it could even cause you to lose your life. When you are a bisexual masculine woman and you are deceiving women into thinking that you are a lesbian stud, meaning you are a female homosexual who is masculine presenting, when you are deceiving these women to believe that you are a lesbian stud and you're getting into relationships with these women, like serious relationships, like some of you have been in relationships with women who have lied to you about their sexual orientation for years. Some of you have married these women. This is very serious. Relationships are not a game. And who wants to be with someone who is deceiving the world about who they are? This is a person who you absolutely cannot trust, because they don't even trust themselves to be themselves. But yet these women who are bisexual, masculine women, they're getting into relationships with women and they are acting out of their anger, out of their guilt, out of their shame, out of their oppression, out of their fear, out of their resentment. They will cheat on the women who they're in these relationships with, and they'll go out and they'll have sex with men. There are real life accounts of lesbian women, for example, being in relationships with these bisexual, masculine presenting women who have lied to them and made their girlfriends or their wives believe that they're lesbians. And for example, the lesbian girlfriend or wife, she finds out that her girlfriend is pregnant. Now, this is shocking and devastating, because they didn't have any conversation about planning to have a child. And we know that two women can bear children because a woman has a womb. But the only way that a woman can be pregnant is through the seed of a male. And if this woman is in a relationship with another woman, you both are in a relationship where you both know that you're lesbians. Well, why is your partner pregnant? So you instantly know that your partner has cheated on you with a man. And a lot of women, unfortunately, find out the hard way that way. They find out because their girlfriend or their wife ends up getting pregnant by a man. But what about the times when you get a sexually transmitted diseases and you're wondering, well, I'm faithful to my girlfriend, I'm faithful to my wife, so I know it's not me. You find out that way. And yes, she could lie and say she cheated with another woman, but there are some sexually transmitted diseases that are passed on through heterosexual intercourse. In other words, there are some sexually transmitted diseases that lesbians do not even contract because lesbians are not sexually involved with men. And then you have other scenarios where you may catch your girlfriend or your wife sleeping with a man. You catch them in the act. So there's so many ways that you can find out that this woman who has deceived you into believing that she was a lesbian all this time, and you thought that she was a lesbian because she had a masculine presenting demeanor and appearance. Ladies, please open your eyes, and please do not allow yourself to think that just because a woman is masculine presenting, that means that she is a lesbian. That is false. There are feminine women who like masculine presenting women, but there are also masculine presenting women who like masculine presenting women. We're all women, and we need to be honest about our sexual orientation. We need to be honest about our sexual activities. When you choose to be in a relationship with someone where it's a mutual relationship, it's exclusive, whether you are dating one another or if you're married, you have to be very honest about your sex life. If you are exclusive, you're not in a open relationship where you both are agreeing to being with other people. You're in a monogamous relationship. There's boundaries. You have certain rules in your relationship that are not to be broken. There's deal breakers. And being dishonest and infidelity can be a huge deal breaker for most relationships. And let me just say as a side note, even if you are in a polygamous relationship and you agree to have open relationships, you still need to be honest about your sexual orientation. Meaning you don't lie and say that you're a lesbian when you really are a bisexual woman. Because if you lie and say you're a lesbian, then your female partner's gonna be under the impression that you're only dating other women. And these polygamous or polyamorous relationships, they have their own rules as well. Like many of them say that they communicate and they're aware of their partners that they're being involved with, and that they go get tested every 6 months for sexually transmitted diseases and infections. So there's rules and guidelines even in those relationships. But just to stay focused on a monogamous exclusive relationship between women, you need to be faithful to each other. And you also need to be honest about your sexual orientation, because you are in a monogamous committed relationship between two women. And when you break the rules, you're dealing with broken hearts. You're dealing with a damaged reputation. And sometimes you can lose a person forever. Their relationship bond is broken. Their relationship can't be mended. But there's so many other things that can happen. Unwanted pregnancies. Sometimes these bisexual women fall in love with these men. You're dealing with a woman who's lying to you about being a lesbian when really she's a bisexual masculine woman, and she's falling in love, or she's fell in love with this man, and she may leave you for that man. Or that man that she's having sex with, who you don't know about, he finds out about you, or he knows about you already, and he's been keeping it hush hush. But men can get very jealous and very possessive of women. So he may not want the woman he's sleeping with to be with you. So you have to think about a woman's safety. If you're in a relationship with a woman, you're putting her at risk of her own life. When you, as a bisexual masculine presenting woman, is heavily involved sexually with this man and emotionally, you cannot control that man. He can do whatever he wants to. So you're putting yourself at risk as a bisexual masculine presenting woman but you're also putting the woman who you are in a relationship with at harm's way, because she is clueless. She has no idea that you are cheating on her with a man. The bisexual studs who are not letting you know that they're bisexual studs, they usually are always going to be in a relationship with a woman. They never like to stay single. And this is a very common behavior trait of people who are on the down low. They love to always hide in relationships because being in a relationship allows them to keep up with public appearances. If she is a masculine presenting woman and she says that she's a lesbian, she knows herself that she's not truly a lesbian, but she wants you to believe that she is. She wants to fit in with the lesbian community. So she's like choosing a side. She's choosing to be a lesbian. But again, you cannot choose your sexual orientation. So she's going through all of these changes just to try to fit in. And she's putting herself in very dangerous situations, because even though you are a woman in a relationship with another woman, do not ever undermine what that woman is thinking. Don't ever think that woman will not attack you, that she will not fight for her life. You think, oh, well, I'm with a woman, so even if she did find out that I'm cheating on her, she's not going to do anything. No, I would not take on that mindset, because you don't know what kind of state of mind that woman will go into when she finds out that you've been lying to her the whole time and that you've been having sex with a man. Lesbians have an aversion to women who have sex with men. In other words, lesbians do not like to deal with women who are sexually active with men. Even if you're having sex with one man, a lesbian does not want to be sexually or romantically involved with a woman who is sexually active with a man. And if this lesbian is in a relationship with a woman who has lied to her and said, I'm a lesbian stud, when really you are a bisexual stud, and you're having sex behind her back with a man, you don't know what will transpire. It's so dangerous that you could literally lose your life. You could lose your life. There are stories out there, real life stories, where people are losing their lives over this. And it's so preventable. It doesn't have to be this way. If you are not accepting of yourself, take time to heal. And you do not have to be in a relationship with anybody. Stay single. Being single means that you are alone, but it doesn't mean that you're lonely, and it doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. You do not need to be involved with anyone, male or female. You need to be single because you need to get your life in order. Because when you choose to be in a relationship and you are lying about who you are, you're lying about your sexual orientation, you don't love yourself, you have internalized homophobia, or you have internalized biphobia, you are in denial about the fact that you like both men and women, but you're acting out by being sexually active with men and women simultaneously, or you have breaks and periods where you're having sex with women and then you're having sex with men. But then you're in a relationship with a woman by choice and you're cheating on her with a man. You are creating havoc in not just your life, but other people's lives. These are other real human beings. They have lives. They have souls. They have hearts. And when you don't consider them, you are a very selfish, dangerous person. And you don't need to be in a relationship. You are not ready to be in a relationship until you learn to love yourself. Consult with a professional therapist and a professional life coach. And you also need spiritual healing. I provide life coaching for same-sex attracted people and same-sex attracted couples. I do specialize in spiritual coaching and healing upon request. And I encourage you to take advantage of these resources, these outlets, because these issues are really going on. And as long as they remain unaddressed, when you're not dealing with yourself, you're just going out here creating more havoc, destroying your life, destroying other people's lives. Do you really think that the LGBTQIA plus community will be able to support each other and learn from each other and grow and build community? No, they won't. Until people stop being selfish, stop being offended, and take accountability and responsibility for their own actions. Now is the time to be honest about who you are and to be honest with other people about who you are. And you will learn that life is a lot better when you are authentically yourself and when you are a responsible and faithful person in relationships between women. I am here for you. I am a certified gay life coach. I am Giselle Wallace. Thank you for listening to this video message. Like and share this video to help someone, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for listening.